Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1 of November 2006. Okay, let's move on to question number 1 here. So for part 1, we have 3 plus 2 and then 4 minus 5. So for this one, as you can see, we have plus, minus, and brackets. So we have to follow the rules of BOD/MAS. So first we have to do brackets. So 4 minus 5 is minus 1. Then we have to do multiplication. So 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. This is your answer for part A. Now for part B, here we have mixed number and mixed number. So we have to first expand. How do you expand this one? 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. Divide. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2. Now we have divide. We have to change divide into multiply. So this first one remains the same, and this one we have to flip it upside down. Now we can multiply. So 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 5 is 15. Your answer is 8 over 15. Now question number 2, an empty tin has mass of 300 grams. When filled with powder, the total mass becomes this. This is 2100 grams. Find the mass in kilograms of the powder. So we have to take this minus this. So 0, 10, that will be 7. That will be 17. This is in grams, so in kilograms it will be divided by 1000, 1.77 kg. This is your answer for part A. Now for part B, express this in minutes. So we know 2 hours is equal to 60 minutes times 2. That will be 120 minutes. How about this one? 0.45 times 60 minutes. So let's do this in this way. So I'm more comfortable in this way. So let's do this in this way. So 0 goes away. 5 times 6 is 30. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So here we have 2 decimal place. We move 2 decimal place, becomes 27. So plus 741. Your answer is 147 minutes. Now for question number 3, part A, simplify this. So we can write this. Divide, we can put this 5x minus 4. So here we see 5 goes away. We have 5 remaining, and then so 5. So now we have x power 2 divided by power minus 4. So when you have divide, it becomes minus, and then minus the power here again. 5 times 2 minus 4 will be 2 plus 4 is 6. 5x6. Now for part B, solve this. Solving means to find the value of x. So here we have the equation has been factorized for you already. So first one, we have 2x minus 3 equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0. So x will be 3 divided by 2, x will be minus 2. This is your answers for part B. In an examination, Alan obtained 32 marks out of 40. In another one, Ben obtains 5/8 of the total marks. Express the mark of each candidate as a percentage. So pretty easy. So for the first one, Alan, 32 over 40, percentage times 100. We have to simplify. That will be 1. That will be 8. 8 times 10 will be 80%. And this one will be 5 over 8 times 100. So let's divide by 4. We will have 2. Divide by 4, we will have 25. So 5 times 25 is 125. Divide by 2, that will be 1, 6, 2, 5. So 62.5%. Now for question number 5, write the following numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest. So here we have different kind of numbers. We have decimals, we have fractions. So one thing we can do is convert everything into decimals, so we can compare them. directly. So this one is 0.7, this one is, what is 0.7 square? It is 0.7 times 0.7, it is 49, and we have 2 decimal place. This will be 0.49. This one is 7 divided by 11. So let's see what we have. So divide by 11, that will be 0. And here we have 0, so that will be 6. Because 7 will be too much, so 6 something, and then that will be 0. 66, 4 remains, that will be 3. 6 remains, that will be 5. And we have 5 remains, that will be 4. It keeps going on. So let's keep this to 3 decimal place, 0.635 approximately. And this one, 7 divided by 9. As divided by 9, we will have 0 point. This one will be 9 times 9 is 81, too much. 9 times 8 will be 72, too much. So 9 times 7, because it will be 63, so 7 remaining as well. So 7 again, 7 again, 7 again. Okay, so this one is 0.777. Now let's compare which one is the smallest here. This one is the smallest, so you're right, the smallest will be 0.72. And then we have this one, which is 7 over 11. Then we have this one, which is 0.7, and the last one is 7 over 9. Now for part B, in a school election, John received 220 votes. This was 55% of the total votes of the votes. Find the total number of votes. So what it means is that, so 55% represents 220. So now the total number of votes is 100%. I hope that makes sense, right? So we will do 220 divided by 55 times 100 to find the total number of votes. So divide by 11, you will have 5, you will have 2, 0, 1, that will be 20. So 20 times 20, that will be 400. So 400 is the total number of votes. Now question number 8, the temperature at the bottom of the mountain was 8 degrees Celsius. So let's draw a drawing. So here we have the mountain. The temperature here was 8, and the temperature here was minus 26. So question part 1, find the difference between the two temperatures. So difference, you can just take this one minus this one, or this one minus this one. So let's take this one, 8 minus 26, that will be 8 plus 26, that will be 34. The difference will be 34 degrees. So this distance here is 34 degrees Celsius. Now part B, find the mean of the two temperatures. So mean is always sum divided by number of temperatures, which is 2. So sum, if you add those two, so let's do that. So 8 plus this one, 8, so plus is become minus 26. So let's do 26 minus 8, it's the same answer. We will have so 6, 1, 10, 2, 8, 16. Sorry, here will be 18. So 18. Yep, I have 18. So 18 will be the sum of those two, minus 18. And then divide by 2 will be minus 9. So minus 18 divided by 2. That is the mean temperature. Now for question number 7, find the fraction which is exactly halfway between this and this. So to find this one, we have to first add them together. So 5 over 9 plus 8 over 9. That will be 13 over 9. Then for halfway, we have to divide by 2, which is 2 over 1. So when you have divide, you have to change the sign to multiply. So 13 multiply 1 over 2. That becomes 13 over 18. This is your answer for part A. Now for part B, estimate the value of this, giving your answer correct to 1 SF. So we have to estimate. So let's see how can we do this one. So part B, so we have 5,000. So what is 5,000? 5,000 is 5 times 1,000. Okay, so also what can we know? Because here we cannot do anything with that, so let's choose more wisely. So this is also equal to 50 times 100, right? So here we see that we can use this one because of the square root. So this becomes square root of 50 times square root of 100. I hope that makes sense. So this one we can skip this one. We don't need that, but we need this one. This is, as you know, becomes 10. And what is this? This we don't know, but we know that something close to this. So 49 is approximately equal to 50, which means we can write this as approximately equal to square root of 49, which is 7. So 7 times 10 is 70. Your answer correct to 1 SF will be 70. Now for part C, evaluate this one. So 3 power 0 times 4 3 over 2. So anything power 0 is 1 times 4 power 3 over 2. As you know, 4 can also be written as 2 power 2. So 2 power 2 times 3 over 2. So it goes away. That becomes 1 times 2 power 3. That is 1 times 8. And your answer will be 8. Now question number 8, written as a product of its prime factor, 360 equal to this. Part 1, write this as a product of its prime factor. So pretty easy. So how you do this is, you have to divide by prime factors. You can see this one is an even number, so we can divide by 2. We have 54, divide by 2 again, we have 2, 7, divide by 3, we have 9, 3, and 3. So for part A, we have 108 equal to 2 power 2 times 3 power 3. Now for part B, find the lowest LCM of this and this. Give your answer as a product of its prime factors. So how do you find LCM? So let's take this here again. We have 108 equal to 2 power 2 times 3 power 3, and 360 equal to 2 power 3 times 3 power 2 times 5. So the LCM will be where they have the most. So here we have 2 power 2 and 2 power 3. The most is 2 power 3, so we write 2 power 3 times. Here we have 3 power 3 and 3 power 2, so I will take this one because it has the most. And last one we have 5 power 1 here. Here we don't have 5, so we take 5 here. So this will be the LCM given as a product of its prime factors. Now for part C, find the smallest positive integer k such that this is a cube number. So for part C we have 360, so 360 k equal to 2 power 3 times 3 power 2 times 5 times k, such that it's a cube number. So what does it mean to be a cube number? For example, let's say we have a is a cube number. So let's say a is actually equal to this value. Sorry, this value here. So the way we know it's a cube number, if you divide, if you take the power of this by this, you get an exact number. That's how we know it's a cube number. So here we have to times this number by something, so we can have the power become divisible by 3. So here this one is okay because it is 3 here. This one to be divisible by 3, we have 3 is missing. Do you agree? Yeah. So here we have 1, and for it to be divisible by 3, we have to times by 5 power 2. So the value of k is equal to this, 3 times this, so 3 times 25, which is 75 for the value of k. So by multiplying this with this, let's see what it becomes. It becomes 2 power 3 times 3 power 3 times 5 power 3. So as you can see, every power now is 3. It is divisible by 3. That's why it's called a cube number. So K will be 75 for the answer in part C. Now for question number 9, we have to solve. Solve means find the value of x. So let's write this down again. So minus 7 less equal to 3x minus 4 less than 2. So to find x, we have to get rid of this. So we have to add 4 everywhere. So minus 7 plus 4, that is minus 3. 3x plus 4, that will become 6. Now we have to divide by 3. We have x, 2, and minus 1. So the answer is minus 1 and 2. Now for part B, it says write down all the integers which satisfy the same equation. So you see x is between this, so we don't have this here. So let's write down. This is minus 1, this is 0, this is 1, and 2. So 2 is not inclusive, but 1 is. So integer value in between 4x will be this one, and this one, but not 2 because it is not inclusive. So the value will be minus 1, 0, and 1. Now for question number 10, it says the distance from the Earth to the Sun is e kilometers when e is equal to this. The distance from the Sun to Mercury is m kilometers where m equal to this. Okay, this is given information according to question. Now part 1, express e to m as a ratio of two integers in its simplest form. So let's find that. So part 1 is e to m. Let's do it here. Or we can just do it here, e to m. So let's just divide. We can do that actually. So yeah, so let's send 1 0 over here. You'll have 15 times 10 power 7 over 6 times 10 power 7. This 2 will go away. This divide by 3, that'll be 5, and that will be 2. So 5 over 2 will be the simplest form in integer value. So ratio will be e is 5, m is 2. So 5 to 2. Now for part B, it says the diagram shows when the Earth, the Sun, and Mercury are in a straight line, with the Sun between the Earth and Mercury. So the Sun is here, this is Mercury, and this is the Earth. Find the distance from the Earth to Mercury. So we have to add this and add this. So 1.5 times 10 power 8 plus 6 times 10 power 7. So here we have something. So as you can see, the power of 8 and power 7 is not the same, so we cannot add directly. So one thing we need to do is to make the power become the same. So we have to switch. We have to send 1 0 over here. That becomes 15 times 10 power 7 plus 6 times 10 power 7. So now the power are the same, so we can add them together. So 15 plus 6 will be 21 times 10 power 7. Now your answer needs to be in standard form. That will be 2.1 times 10 power 8. This is your answer for part B. 2.1 times 10 power 8. Now question number 11. Anne, Brian, and Carol share the cost of a car. Anne pays 2/5 of the cost, Brian pays 1/3 of the cost, and Carol pays the rest. So what fraction does Carol pay? So the rest is always, so in total it's 1, right? And minus this and this for the rest. So let's do that. Here the base is different, so we have to find the LCM. LCM is 15. 5 times 3 is 15, and now we have the cross multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 will be 11. So 1 minus this will become 4 over 15. So first one is 4 over 15. Now part B, Anne pays $1,600 more than Brian. Find the total cost of the car. So as you know, Anne pays 2/5 and Brian paid 1/3. So what is more let's find the value, the difference, right, to find the more value. So 2 over 5 minus 1 over 3, base of 15, cross multiply 6 minus 5, 1 over 15. So it means that 1 over 15 is the more. So 1 over 15 equal to 1600. Now for the total cost, it has to be 15 over 15. I hope that makes sense. So it becomes, for one share, becomes 1 over 15 times 15 over 15. Well, this is kind of hard to do. You can always we can simplify this. Obviously this becomes 1, so 15 divided by 15 is 1. So let's continue here. So 1600 divided by 1 over 15 times 1. And what is this one? When you have divide by something, we have to flip it to multiply. So flip this one. So let's say I will write this down again here. So this is basically 1600 divided by 1 over 15. So as you know, when you have divide, you always have to change this to multiply, and this becomes 15 over 1. So let's simplify. So 0, 0 goes away. So 16 times 15, what is that? Let's do this here. So 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 3 is 80. So 8, sorry. The 6, 1, 0, that will be 4, 2. So 240. This will be 240. So the cost of the car is 24,000. That is the cost of the car. So question number 12, we have OA equal to 4A, OC equal to 2C, and CB equal to A in the same direction as OA. Now, part 1, express BA in terms of A and C. So how do you find BA? You have to do BC, CO, OA. So B going to C, C going to O, and O going to A to find B to A. So BC equal to minus A plus CO is minus 2C, OA is 4A. That becomes 3A minus 2C. That will be your value for part A. Now for part B, we have OP equal to 2A minus 4 over 3C. So this direction here is equal to 2A minus 4 over 3C. Now explain why OP is parallel to BA. So to understand this, what can I do is, let me draw these two lines. So we have two lines here. Let's say this is line L and this is line M. So if these two lines are parallel, so what I know is that L is a multiple of M. It is something times M. That's the thing we need to prove here. So to show this is parallel to this, we have to prove that OP is equal to something times BA. So OP is what? OP is given to us as 2A. So let's write this down in this form, 2A and minus 4 over 3 equal to something times BA. BA is given by this one, which is 3, and minus 2. So here we have to find a value of M so that it is consistent for the first line as well as for the other line. So for the first line we have 2 equal to 3M, M equal to 2 over 3. Now we have to replace this value of M here to see if it is good or not. So here we have minus 3 minus 4 over 3 equal to M, which is 2 over 3 times minus 2, which is equal to minus 4 over 3. So it is good as the value of M. So here we have shown that, so the point here we have shown that OP equal to M, which is a constant, BA, where M equal to 2 over 3. So this is how you show it is parallel to each other. Now for part C, we have to find the area of OBA, so OBA, and area of OPA. So this is the two areas that we need to find. So we know these two sides, we know the ratio of these two sides. So as you can see, the ratio of these two sides is this. So basically OP divided by BA is equal to 2 over 3. So the ratio of area of OBA to OPA, so this is 2 and this is 3. The ratio is 3 to 2. That's the ratio. So 3 divided by 2 will be 1.5. That will be your answer for part C. Number 13, the 7-sided polygon, so it has 7 sides, has 6 angles of x and 1 of y. So question part 1, draw the line of symmetry in the diagram. So where is the line of symmetry? So I think I've found this. So you can find this by observation. So as you can see, this will be the line of symmetry, right? You just have to make sense to you, right? So it needs to be in between. So when you do a reflection, it's the same on both sides. So that is my line of symmetry. Now for part B, if y equal to this, find the value of x. So to find the value of x, we need to find first what is the sum of all the angles in this polygon. So we have a formula for that actually. So sum of all the angles is equal to number of side minus 2 times 180. That's the formula you should know. So number of sides here is 7. The 7 minus 2 is 5 times 180. That will be what? So let's do here one by one. So 180 times 5, so 0, 40, and 90. So that will be 900 degrees for the sum of all the angles. So now one of them is 126, so 900 minus 126, that will be 8, 10, so 10 minus 4 is, sorry, 6 will be 4, that will be 7, 7. So the rest of the angles is equal to 7, 7, 4. So how many x do we have? We have 6x. So it means that this 6x is equal to 774. The value of x will be 774 divided by 6. So let's try. We have 1. There will be 1 here, 1 here. There will be 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 12, 5, 54. So 9 times 6 is 54. So the value of x will be 129. So x will be 129. Let's move on to question number 14. In a race with an athlete runs 1600 meters on an average speed of 6 meters per second. That's the speed of the athlete. Now the distance given correct to the nearest 100 meters, and the speed is nearest to 2 meters, so 1 meter per second. That's the speed approximation. Now part 1, complete the two statements in the space. So we have to find the lower bound and upper bound of each of them. So pretty easy. The first thing you do is you take the measurement of the value. So first one is 1600 meters for the distance, and then you see this one, you say plus minus, you take the value, divide by 2. That will be 1650, or it can be 1550. And for this one, speed, you take the value, which is 6, plus minus, this is 1, so 1 divided by 2. That becomes 6.5 or 5.5. So distance will be what? 1550, 1650. Speed will be 5.5, 6.5. Now for part B, calculate the greatest possible time the race would have taken. So how do you find time? As you know, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So from this we know time equal to distance divided by speed. Now to find the maximum speed, you have to take the maximum distance divided by the minimum speed. I hope that makes sense, right? To find the max time, take the max distance divide the minimum speed. So let's do that. Max distance here will be 1650 and the minimum speed will be 5.5. So let's find out. We can divide by 5. That will be 1.1. That will be what? 3, and 0. So 3, 3, 0, 1.1. So we can move one decimal place here. We have to add 1 0. That becomes 3, 3, 0, 0 divided by 11. Divide by 11, 1, 3, 0, 0. So your answer is 300 seconds for the maximum time taken. Now question number 15, the matrix M satisfies the equation 3m plus 4 equal to m. Now find m in the form of this, so pretty easy. So we just have to solve this equation to find m. So let's first bring m over here, or we can bring m over here, that's fine too. So let's bring the 4 inside. That becomes 8 minus 4, 12, 0 equal to m minus 2m, minus 3 and become minus 2m. So from this, m equals to, divide by minus 2, we have minus 4, 2, minus 6, 0. So this is the value of m. Now for part B, find the inverse matrix of this one. So as you know, we have to first find the determinant matrix. So cross multiply 5 times 2 minus 3 times minus 4. That will be 10 minus, that will be 12, which is minus 2. So, and you have to find the adjoint matrix as well. So we have to change the position of those two. So 2 becomes here, 5 become here, and change the sign of those two, minus become plus for those two. So from this we have inverse becomes 1 divided by determinant times this adjoint matrix. So this will be your answer for part B. Now question number 16, given that f of x equal to this, part 1, f of minus 2, giving you an answer in terms of p. So pretty easy, we just have to replace the value of x by minus 2. So f of minus 2 equal to minus 2 square minus 2p minus 2 plus 3. That becomes 4 plus 4p plus 3. That becomes 4p plus 7. This is your answer for part A. Okay, now for part 2, the value of p when f this equal to 0. So what is f of 0? So let's find out. F of 0 is where we replace the value of x by 0. That becomes 0 plus, minus 0 plus 3 becomes 3. Now we say that this here, which is this, equals to this. So we have to solve for p. So 4p plus 7 equal to 3. So 4p equal to 3 minus 7 is minus 4. P is minus 1. That's the value of p. Now for part B, given that g of y equal to this, find g of a minus 1. So let's do that. So it means we have to replace the value of y by a minus 1. That becomes a minus 1 square minus 1 becomes a square minus 2a plus 1 minus 1. This one goes away. That becomes a square minus 2a. That will be your answer for part B. A square minus 2a. You can always simplify this as well. You can factorize them if you want to, but you don't need to. That will be your answer. Okay, let's say if you want to write this as well like this, that is okay as well. So now question number 17, the line L is drawn on the grid in the space. This is your line L, as you can see here. Now write down the equation of the line L. So let's find the equation of the line L. So how do you find the equation of the line? You have to first find 2 points. So one point I see is this point, which is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, so 0, 3 is 1 point, so 1 point will be 0, 3, and then the other point will be, let's use this one, 2, 7, so 2, 7. So let's first find gradient, so m, will be y2 minus y1. So 7 minus 3 will be 4 divided by 2, which is 2 minus 0, so that will be 2. Now we take this point, this is x and y, so y minus 3 over x minus 0 equal to 2 over 1. So this becomes y minus 3 equal to 2x, so y becomes 2x plus 3. This is the equation of the line for part 1. So y equal to 2x plus 3. Now for part B, on the grid part 1, draw and label the lines x equal to 1, y equal to 3, and this one. So first one is pretty easy. As you know, x equal to 1 will be a horizontal line, sorry, a vertical line. That will be the line. You have to label the line x equal to 1. And this one will be a horizontal line on this point, y equal to 3. Y equal to 3. And the last one will be x plus y equal to 2. So pretty easy, you just have to find the point. So let's say if x equal to 0, y will be 2. The first one will be 0, 2. Now if y equal to 0, x will be 2. So 2, 0. So we have 2 points, 0, 2, 2, 0. So 0, 2 is here, 2, 0 is here. So we just have to join them to show the equation of that line. So one more time, we just have to label this one as well. So this is x plus y equal to 2. Okay. Now the last question is to shade the region which satisfies this 3 inequality. First one, it is more than 1, so it needs to be this side, more than 1, okay. It must be less than 3, which is below 3, more than 1, and it must be more than this. So this is your answer. So let's check one more time. So it needs to be more than 1, so on this side, more than 1, less than 3, below this line, and more than this, so above this line. So it will be this thing right here. And that is question 17. So question 18, on the Venn diagram, in the answer space here, shade this region. So we have B intersection C is this one, union A, so it will be with A as well. So on this one, we have to write the set notation for this region. So this is basically P intersecting outside of Q prime. This is your answer. Now for part C, in a class of 36 students, 25 study history, 20 study geography, and 4 study neither. So let's use a Venn diagram to show this information. So here we have our universal set. So let's say this one is history and this one is geography. Now everything together we have 36 people, students. So 4 study neither is outside of the set, and we don't know how many study both. So let's take it as x. 25 is history, so 25 minus x is only history, and 20 minus x is only geography. So we have to use this information to find how many students study both, so study this. So we have to find the value of x. So we know that if you add everything together, this plus this, plus this, and plus this, it will give you 36, because that's the total number of students. So simplify, this one will go away. This one is what, 25 plus 20, 45 plus 4 is 49. 49 minus x is 36, so x will be 49 minus 36, that should be 7. I'm not too sure. Is that no, it's not 7. So that will be 3 1 13. The value of x will be 13. That's the number of people who study both geography and history in the middle. Okay, so let's move on to the other part now. 19 for this paper. So in the diagram, the points A, B, C, and D lie on the circle center O. So at center O, we have A, B, C, and D. Okay. Now AOD, so this line is what? Is the diameter. So the first thing you should know is that whenever you have a diameter, if you have a triangle over the diameter, this angle here is 90. Okay, this is what you should know. This is a rule, a theory in circle, right? So now we have AB is parallel to DC. So OB is this line, is in the same direction of this line. So what I like to do is I always like to extend the line on both sides just a little bit to see what angle can I have for those two lines. So just like that, just to have a better understanding of this one. Now angle BOD is 140. So BOD is 140. Now question part 1 is to find the value of x. So here you have to observe OD is the radius and OB is also the radius. So it means that this and this are the same. So this angle here is also x. So here we have triangle OBD is an isosceles triangle. So this will be 180 minus 140 divided by 2. That will be, let's write this here, 180 minus 140, that will be 40 divided by 2. That will be 20 for the value of x. So A will be 20 degrees. Now for part B, find the value of y. Y is this one. So how would you find the value of y? So we have to observe what can we deduce. So if you know the value of x, you can find this value, right? Because as you can see, we have a triangle. ABD is a big triangle. So if this is 90, this is 20, this needs to be 70. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, right? So when you have this is 70, you look at A, B, C, D is a shape on the circle, touching the point of the circle. It's a quadrilateral on the circle. So you know that the opposite angle needs to add up to 180. So for example, here we have A, B, C, D, and this is D, this is C, this is A and B. If this is 70 and they are all touching the circle, so we have a rule saying that the opposite angles need to add up to 180. So which means this angle here plus this angle needs to be 180. So this angle here will be what? 180 minus 70, that will be 110. So y will be 110 degrees. That will be part B, 110. Now moving on to this one, find angle Z. So this one, how do you find this one? So let's observe what we have. So this one, since we have this line here in the same direction as this one, this angle here is equal to this angle here. This is equal to 20 because it is the same as x. So x is equal to z. So z is also 20. So this is 20. Now the last one to find t. So we have triangle BCD. We know this side, we know this one. So the last one will be 180 minus 110 minus 20. So 180 minus 110 minus 20, that will be 50. So t will be 50 degrees. That's the part D. Okay, that is question 19. So question number 20, we have cones. As you can see, two cones. Okay, a solid cone C is cut into two parts, x and y. So x and y by a plane parallel to the base. It is the same flat surface basically. Now the length of the sloping edge of the two parts are 3 centimeter and 2 centimeters. So 3 and 2. This one is 5, right? Now part 1, find the ratio of the diameters of the bases of x and c. x and c. So pretty easy. The ratio of, as you can see, the ratio of their length is 3 to 5. The ratio of their thing will be the same as well because they are cut from the same thing. It is similar. So we know that x and c are similar. This is why we can write this. Since the ratio of their length is 5 to 3, the ratio of their base is also, so x, c to 5, sorry, c to x. This is x, this is c. So the ratio of the length on this side is 5. This one is 3. So this is for the slant height, sloping edge. It will be the same ratio for their diameter as well. So 5 to 3 will be your first answer. Now for part 2, the areas of the bases of x and c. So as you know, areas, we have to square them. That becomes 25 to 9. So we have to square those two to find the ratio of areas. So okay, so yeah, I think I made a small mistake because it's supposed to be x to c, so it needs to be x to c, so that will be 3 and 5, and that will be 9 and 25. So that would be 3 here and 5, that will be 9 and 25. Just the position was wrong, that's all. Now the last one is the volumes of x and y. So volumes of x and y. So how do you find the length of y? So let's begin with the length. So the length of y is equal to 5 minus 3. Right, let's write this down. So x and y. X, we know the length is 3. And for the length of y, it is 5 minus 3. Right. So you write 5 minus 3. Now for the volume, you have to, because the unit of volume is centimeter cube, we have to cube every element. So that becomes 3 cube. That becomes 5 cube minus 3 cube. That becomes 27. And this becomes what? 25 times 5, 125 minus, this one is 27. So what is 125 minus 27? That will be 98. So the ratio is 27 to 98. That is your answer for this one. So the ratio of x to y is 27 to 98 for their volume. Okay, so that's it for question number 20. Question number 21. The diagram is a speed time graph. Speed is here, time is here. For the first 20 seconds of the journey. This is 20 seconds of the journey. Part 1. Find the acceleration when time equal to 16. So 16 is here. As you know, the acceleration is equal to the gradient at the point. So what is the gradient on this line? We have to do height divided by base. Base is 8, height will be 15. So 15 divided by 8. That will be what? You can divide if you want to, or we can take smaller values. Let's take this one. This is 4, and this is what? 2.5, okay, not good. Yeah, let's just stick to that one. So let's divide, we will have 8, that will be 1.0, that will be 7. So 8 times 8 will be 64. So I guess this keeps going, so better write this down as a fraction, I think. So 15 over 8, you will have 1, and then this becomes 7 over 8. So this is your answer for part 1. 7 over 8 is the exact value for the acceleration. Now part 2, the distance traveled for the first 20 seconds. So as you know, when you have a speed time graph, the distance traveled is equal to the area on the graph. So distance traveled, this plus this. So this one is a triangle, so pretty easy. It's half times base of 8 times height of 15. And this one here is a trapezium, so that one is the formula as well, half times sum of those two sides, so this is 8 and this is 6, so 6 plus 8 times the height is 5. So let's simplify. That becomes 4 times 15 will be 60 plus, so 6 plus 8 will be 14 divided by 2, 7. That will be 35. That will be 95. Your answer is 95. So now for part B, in the answer space below, sketch the distance time graph for the same journey. So how do you find the distance time graph? So as you can see here, we have a few parts. So let's do this part. This is a straight line, this to this, right? Let's do this part first. So for the first 6 seconds, it traveled from this distance is what? It is 6 times 5 is 30 meters. So 6 seconds will be 30 meters. Will be here. And you have to know that in a distance time graph, the gradient is equal to the speed. So the speed here is constant. So the gradient will be a straight line for this 2 points. So 0 to this is a straight line because the speed is constant. Now for this part, this distance here is what? Half times base times height, it is 5. But now the speed is decreasing. It is not constant, it is decreasing. So we have to draw a, so 5 plus 5 will be 35. So time 8 will be 35. It will be, this is 30, 35 is here. Now how do you draw a decreasing speed on a distance time graph? You have to know. So this is increasing speed. This is decreasing speed. So you have to draw decreasing speed. So it goes to 0. So at point 0 it needs to be horizontal. So it has to be kind of flat, right? Because as you can see, it went to 0 here. That's why we need to have this kind of flat point to prove that it went to 0. Now for this distance, for this time 8 to 12, it was 0, so it did not move. So 8 to 12, it is horizontal. It did not move. So we can draw this straight line. And then from 12 to 20, the speed is increasing, and then the distance traveled is what? It's half times base times height, which is 60. So 35 plus 60 is 95. So at point 95, so 20, 95 will be here. So how do you draw a increasing speed? So speed here is increasing. How do you draw increasing speed? You have to draw it like this, increasing speed. Try your best to make it smooth as possible. So that becomes like this, increasing speed. So this will be your distance time graph for this journey. Okay, now question number 22. Here we have this triangle ABC given to us as those points. So part 1, find the area of that triangle. So we have to use a formula here to find the area. So we have to write half, area is half, times modulus of the first point, which is 4 and 4. Second point is minus 2, minus 6, and third point is 4 minus 1. And we finish back to the first point, which is 4, 4, close the modulus. So now this becomes, so we first have to find these values. So 4 times minus 6 will be minus 24, plus 2, plus 16. And then minus this direction. So 4 times minus 2 is minus this, minus 24, and minus 4. That'll be half, and this becomes, the top becomes minus 6, minus, this becomes minus 36, that becomes half, that becomes 30, and your answer is 15. So the area will be 15 units square. That is for part 1. Now for part 2, find the coordinates of P such that ABCP is a parallelogram. Okay, so let's find out. So as you can see, ABCP needs to be somewhere on this side. So to move from B to C, we have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just a straight line for the base, right? So for the base, has to be 1, 2, 6, and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the base here. So this is not the answer yet. So basically, it has to be in the same direction. So just to draw this one here. So wait. So this one, it has to be in the same direction for A to a point P on this side. So since B we have to move 6 and 5, A we have to also move 6 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the point will be here. That's your point, P. So that will be the shape. Okay. The point P is 10, 9. Okay. I hope it is fine. So let's count again just to make sure. So B to C is, so minus 2 to 4 is 6, and this is, let's write this down. This was 6, and this is 5. 6, 5, so 6, 5, right. So it will be 10, 9 for the point of P. Now for part of 3, find the area of ABCP. It will be twice this one. So since we know this is 15, this will need to be 30. Now for part 4, find tan of BAC. So tan of BAC of this angle, C. So here we can use this big triangle. So A, B, let's use this one. Let's call it M. As you can see, this is a right angle triangle. So to find tan, we need the opposite side and the adjacent side. This is 5, this is 5. So AM is 10. So in that case, tan will be. So this big side here is 10. So as you know, tan is opposite side over adjacent side. Opposite side is 6 over 10. That should be 3 over 5. That is your answer for this one. So now for part B, it is given that the length of BC is K. So BC is K, this is K. Now we have to find the cos of BCA. So cos of BCA of this angle here, give you answer in terms of K. So we observe that this is a straight line. So what is this angle? Let's call this angle alpha. Now, what is the cos of alpha? So cos of alpha equal to, so we know cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 5 over K. So what is this angle here? This is just cos of 180 minus alpha equal to what? So you should know that 180 minus alpha should be in this quadrant. So in this quadrant, cos is negative. It should be minus 5 over K. So your answer will be minus 5 over K. And that is question number 22, sorry. Now question number 23, the diagram below is a map showing a coastline of A, B, and C, a lighthouse L, and a point P. Okay, so we have all this here. So coastline, we have L, and point P. Now we have a scale of 1 centimeter to 100 meters. Ship must not sail within 200 meters of the coastline, nor within 200 meters of the lighthouse. So part 1, construct the locus of points, which is 200 m from the lighthouse. So that is pretty easy. So we have to use a scale of 1 centimeter to 100 meters. So 200 meters will be 2 centimeters. So we have to draw the locus of points, which is 2 centimeters from the lighthouse L. So we'll first have to measure 2 centimeters and then go to your point L and make a circle around L. Okay, that is your answer for part 1. Okay, so now we have part B. Construct the locus of points, which is 200 m from the coastline ABC. So pretty easy. We first have to draw the same distance here at point B. Okay, so this is the first part where it doesn't need to be inside. And then for this point as well, you can also continue here. And then this point. Okay, so now we have all these 3 points. So basically the answer needs to be, so this will be so it needs to be 200 will be 2 centimeters from this line. So if you have to move in the same direction, it needs to be on this line. This line. And then this same thing here, 2 centimeters from the line AB. So of course this is the circle, so this is this, and this is curve, and this is straight line as well. So you have to make sure that this is curve using the so I cannot use my pen, but yeah, just make sure that this is curve, and the answer should be like this. Right, that is part B. Now for part C, it says a ship sailed from the point P on a bearing of theta degrees. So P theta. It passed between between B and L. It passes between B and L. Complete the statement below. So theta is between what? So basically from the point P, the ship passes in this region. So what is the angle that it can go? So as we know, we first have to draw this line. So we have to draw the tangent to this circle here. How about this? And the tangent to this circle. Okay, so basically the range the ship can move is between this angle. So it does not touches these two lines. So I have to measure this angle. So what is the size of this angle? So the bearing is from this point to this, and this point to this, the bearing, right? So the first bearing, let's measure this angle. So we have to use that point. So what is the first angle here? This one is to this line, that will be 25. So this angle here is 25. So from 25 to, so what is this one? This one is 47. So 25 to 47 will be the angle where it can move. So it passes between L and B without touching these two lines. So that will be question number 23. Okay, so question number 24, that is the last question. That is pretty long. That is a long paper, so good luck to you guys who's doing O-level this year. But yeah, that's a long paper. So the diagram shows triangle T and B. So we have two triangles here, T and B. So part A, the enlargement with center OO, scale factor 2, maps A onto T onto A. Draw the triangle A on the above diagram. Okay, pretty easy. So we have to map T onto A, and it has scale factor of 2. The center is 0, 0. So what can we do is there's a few methods we can use. We can just we can label these points. Let's call this one. This is point A, point B, and C. So one method we can say A is a point what? A is a point 2, 2. Now with the scale factor of 2, we have to multiply by 2. That becomes 4, 4. So B is 5, 1. Scale factor of 2, that will be 10, 2. And C is the point 4, 2. Scale factor of 2, that becomes 8, 4. So this is the image of A, image of B, and image of C. So first point is 4, 4, becomes here. Second one will be 10, 2. 10, 2 will be here. Last one is 8, 4. 8, 4 will be here. So this is the image of this enlargement from center O and scale factor 2. And we have to label the triangle as triangle A for the full mark. So that is part 1. Now part B, describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto that maps T onto B. So how do you map T onto B? As you can see here, it is clearly a rotation about the center with an angle of 90. So it's pretty obvious. It's give you only 2 points, so you can write rotation 90 degrees clockwise about origin. Okay, that is your 2 points. Now for part C, a transformation represented by this matrix. This transformation maps T onto C. Draw triangle C on the diagram. So as you know, we have this thing. It's called the matrix times object equal to image. So we can find triangle C. So matrix is -1, 0, 0, 1. Object will be triangle T. Let's take the points for triangle T. We have A as 2, 2. So A is 2, 2. B is 5, 1. And C is 4, 2. Okay, 4, 2. So let's find the image. That becomes -2, -5, -4. That becomes, stay the same, 2, 1, 2. That is triangle C. So -2, -2. So -2, 2 is here. Then we have -5, 1 is here. And we have -4, 2 is here. Okay. This is your triangle C. As you can see, this one was just a reflection in the y-axis. So just label your triangle, and that should be it. So that was the last question. And if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.